Can I please be an insurance agent? That's all I want. What? I wanted to be on the A-team the other day, and when I was growing up, I wanted to be a postal worker. In my mind, I'm a postal worker.
Yes, you are.
But the whole DJ thing, I'm thinking that maybe I should retire from this. I wouldn't mind wearing a suit every day. I'm cool with that.
Have you ever once seen me in a suit?
Well, it would be more like a restraining, one of those jackets, but, it's a jacket nonetheless.
It works.
Flooding has been going on a lot across our nation, and that's something that, of course, is you would cover that if it was something that people asked about. But typically, flooding is not covered under somebody's regular auto home bundle program, typically. Right in saying that?
No.
Oh, man, come on.
I just love existing. So you were so close to being right there. If you had not thrown auto out there, you would have been right. On a homeowner policy, definitively, flood is not covered. Flood is not covered on the homeowner policy. Now let's throw that out there real quickly. There is a company that I represent that we sell mobile home policies with, and they include flood on their mobile home policy. But that's very unique to that company.
Okay, going to this, though. See, now here's my
auto
two
insurance
things
comprehensive covers flood. If your car is flooded and you have comprehensive coverage, it is covered.
It is covered, but not your home.
Not your home.
So if the car's in the garage, the garage is, pooched, but the car is fine.
The car is good.
If you drove into a, let's say, a dry wash, then it flooded out. Emergency services say never do that, but people do it all the time.
Right.
Can you claim that on your car insurance?
Because you were
stupid?
Yeah.
Even though you were stupid, you can still claim it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Don't race through there. That's excluded.
As far as, 10 years ago, we had Hurricane Katrina. And it seemed like at that time, insurance companies were having a very hard time keeping up with claims, and it took them years. Some people didn't even get what they thought they'd paid for. And because, fine print, and not that you're trying to screw anybody, but, insurance companies.
Remember, it's a contract, and if you don't fully understand the contract, then you can have an assumption or an expectation of something more than you're going to receive, and when that happens, then you're upset, and then you go, wait a minute here, what's going on?
I've been married a couple times.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, works. So we're good.
Well, you talk about mobile homes, like Beans Homes or like Lindbergh. Every year, they get flooded out. And it seems like either A, move the modular homes, or B, build up. I think they're like 2 feet below what they should be, so that, put a bunch of dirt and gravel down.
Right.
Hide a bunch of dead bodies or some trash. Who knows what. Yeah. I've got friends if you need help.
And low places, apparently.
So I'm trying to find out, why would we build in floodplain areas when we know that it continues to happen year after year? And then if I say, okay, let's say I bought the Lindbergh, okay, and I built my house there.
Right.
I'd have to build the property up, I understand, in order to build something more. But if I just kept, running the Lindbergh, why is it year after year they had their basements flooded? And you can't fix that stuff once it gets all rotten in the basement. That mold.
That particular area is really a high-risk area, identified as such by the mapping through FEMA,
right? Where
it is flood zone AE. I think it's AE there, and that's a high-risk area. There is a repetitive loss thing that's included in FEMA with the National Flood Insurance Program. So if you have so many severe losses within a certain time stretch, that they can try to enforce, hey, you can't be here anymore type of situation. Yeah.
So, and that's not like more than once a year kind of thing, obviously, because these people are still there.
I'm going off memory, so I don't dare put any concrete out there, but there were some severe repetitive loss components out there. The biggest thing you're going to run into with flood, though, is towns that are participating with FEMA, such as Lyndonville and Barnet and St. Johnsbury and Waterford and others. The flood mitigation component is such a large part now of town zoning, kind of somewhat required.
Are there areas
to be addressed?
That just don't
there are areas that you can't do that
to build anything.
Yeah, you can't, because you think about it. You have a high risk area and you put some fill in there. What happens to your poor neighbors who don't have the means or ability to do the fill? They're taking that water that used to come to you.
Well, their house may be slightly closer to yours, depending on if there's a lot of rain.
They may become closer neighbors. Yeah.
Hey, that's Bob right there, 2 feet away, naked.
Hey, Bob, how's the roof up there? Is it good?
As far as recouping, is this something that is a long process? If I decide, here's the funniest thing to me, is that people say, I should have. And do you see a lot of people going, well, it's already done now, I'm not going to bother getting it? Or do you see people running to you going, I got to have it because obviously this is something that's happening more?
Right. I see more of that. I really do. I see more people inquiring because, remember, flood insurance is not covered on a homeowner policy other than that one I just mentioned,
right,
which is very unique. So the great example was on NBC News the other night, a guy in, I believe it was North Carolina, saying, look, I've lived here 26 years. It's never flooded. I have homeowners insurance. I don't have flood insurance. So he didn't buy flood insurance and thought 26 years of no flood was a good thing. Agreed. It is.
Yeah.
Insurance
is one time.
Exactly. Insurance isn't about the absolute loss happening,
right,
or the guarantee that it will occur. It's the chance that it could occur. So if you are in an area where flood could occur, and we're talking rivers, streams, lakes, ponds, we're also talking inundation of water. Maybe the town water supply cannot sustain what's coming in with rain.
Like St. Johnsbury has a lot of issues with their facility here.
So if it can't take the water away and it builds up, and I remember flood has triggers of how a flood occurs.
Now the town's not responsible for that flooding?
No.
The town's like, we ain't responsible.
I don't see them being responsible for it if their system is set up the way that it's supposed to be, but the amount of water coming in, such as what happened with Florence, you just can't predict that. So, well, actually, you can. They did predict that. But anyway.
If you know the storm is coming, like, let's just say I knew a week or two ahead of time.
Yeah.
Can I jack my flood insurance way up?
That's the interesting part, okay? So
you can.
You cannot.
You
why? Cannot.
How long do you have to have it for?
Insurance companies, flood insurance has a 30-day waiting period.
Okay.
So in order to buy flood insurance, you have, if it's not for buying the home or for a closing on a mortgage, which that's a special waiver where they'll say, we will make it effective the day that you close. That's not a problem. Any other situation, it's a waiting period of 30 days.
Interesting.
And other than that, other companies, like I've had people who had no insurance in the last Hurricane Irene that we had come up through here, people like, well, is hurricane covered on my policy? Well, yeah, wind is what it would be covered up here because we don't have that many hurricanes. Right. So there's not any real special component there. Well, can I buy insurance? No, I'm sorry. Now that this is known to happen, again, it's not the guarantee or absolute loss. It's the possibility of loss. So they will actually not let you issue policies when something like that has happened. You cannot buy fire insurance in California right now.
Yes, that just makes sense.
The opposite. Right.
Because, if you know there it is, and you're like, I'm going to jack this up and get a new house later, it's not going to happen.
It's just not going to happen.
If you'd like to find out more about fire insurance, flood insurance, or any type of insurance whatsoever, as he said, best thing to do, buy yourself a really nice car and sleep in it.
Get some bedroom quarters in there. You're good. You're good.
Chester, child molester van there. So you can call Barrett Insurance by buzzing up.
We were doing so well.
Oh, sorry.
748-5224, or you can visit us on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. Websites, thebarrettagency.com, Facebook, Google, and YouTube, all Barrett Insurance agents.
If you see my van in the back of your building there,
run away.
Just living down by the river, making myself a beer can fence. Barrett Insurance, good policies every Wednesday about 10 till 8. Thanks
I'll bring
so much
you
for
some
coming
pallets so you can have a deck.